Welcome, sorcerers, scoundrels, and schoolmates, to episode 13 of Dion Rising. Hey. This right here is a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play campaign brought to you by the Knights of D20. All these fabulous people, love them. As usual, before we begin solving riddles posed by nasty bridge trolls, we have a few announcements brought to you by a man who hurricanes fear to cross, lest they reveal him for the storm mage I believe him to be. Bobby, you have the floor.
All right. So this week in KD20 news, for Int Mod Pod, tomorrow we will have myself and Royal. We're going to be talking about how spells work, how magic works, and how spell slots work. So if you are new to D&D and you want to play a spellcaster, this is going to be one for you, because I know spell slots can be a little bit of a doozy when you first start. Now, I want to be clear that this is not going to be going over every single spell in the game, because that's crazy and bonkers, but this is going to be a good general overview of how magic in general works. On Wednesday for tea time, I will be there hosting with Kara as my guest. We're going to get into the nitty-gritties of all the NPCs, all the plot points, and all the secrets that she's been keeping from us. Casting Friendship is an absolute mystery to me. I'm not 100% sure what they're doing over there, but I know it's going to be good. And then in our most important news, what I'm most excited about to talk about is our Discord server. We just got it set up, so right down below us, you can find it two ways. One, there's a big old circle that says Discord, or two, we have this lovely little link that says all of our links. And there you can find, you guessed it, all of our links. It can take you to the Int Mod Pod. It can take you to our YouTube, to our anything we have. Our Discord, if it's there, we got it. And on this, we have some lovely little areas for a little bit of engagement that we can answer some of the questions you might have. So we've got a nice little section in Int Mod Pod. So if you have questions that you want answered, you don't know how to do something in D&D, throw it in there, and we will do our best to get to as many of those as we can. Same thing with tea time. If there are things that you want to know, if there is very specific flavors of tea that you want spilled, that's the place to put it, and I will ask it because I have no shame. So head down there, get in with the community. We also have really cool artwork going on. We've got a place for you to put all your pet pictures. Who doesn't love pet pictures? So head over there, join with us, and we can get chatting there. But that's all I have for you, so we're going to go back to Kara.
Thank you, Bobby. And thank you all again, our fans and friends and family, for joining us as we embark on an epic adventure in the world of Dion, where heroes rise, dangers abound, and legends are born. Players, dice at the ready. Episode 12. Oh. A 20 already.
Right off the bat. Woo,
all right, then you get to do the recap.
Oh god, no. But the nat 20, it just kind of naturally happens in your voice.
Yes, okay. Yes, it sounds like this. Episode 12 saw our heroes preparing for a party thrown by Tabaxi socialite Chiffon Foxglove in her family's Santapelle Chateau. A shopping montage led to Bula purchasing a bag of holding on Seraphina's family credit. And though Zada was reluctant to attend the soiree, he did make an appearance in time for Chiffon to ask the crew to help her disappear from her life in the limelight. In exchange, she agreed to help the group find their way around the city under the pyramid as they searched for the artifact known to Darkdown to be hidden below. Though through a twisted, illusory maze, they found a door sealed with an infernal riddle lock, behind which they assume their prize lies. Killian recognized the emblem carved into the three-sided door as belonging to Sulvok, Lord of the Sixth Inferno. We left our players to ponder the riddle, which Killian now reads again, checking his translation from infernal to common tongue. Too few, and you weep. Too many, you freeze. I bind you tight, yet set you free. In every deal and every fate, I am freedom and the key. Players, you've had some time to ponder.
Just a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a lot of it. The person who figured this out is not here currently, but that's fine.
Yeah, Melanie, for anyone watching, Melanie literally gave us the answer to this like 0.5 seconds after we ended the session. So hopefully her guess is right, because we all literally ran with it, and if it's not right, I don't think anyone's thought about this riddle since, so we're gonna be
I have one
sorry.
other. I have one other, but that's it.
Eidos, do you want to give Seraphina's answer?
Yeah. I think Seraphina spent some time stroking Glitter Bell and staring at the riddle while everybody else kind of bickers back and forth about the potential answer. And at a certain point, she just kind of says to herself, choices.
The door, you all go silent as the door just like boom, slams back in its frame. And the triangle like goes from one point to another as it rolls out of the way and opens up and gives you that same view you saw as you approached the door when the door was still illusory and see-through. You see this massive indoor cavern with walls sloping up to one single kind of skylight that shoots hundreds of feet up through the center of this pyramid city, revealing the sky above. But as you saw before, the light in here is ever shifting as it goes from day to night, to stormy, to sunny, back and forth around, fast and then slow, randomly just showing like sun and moonlight and darkness, casting different shadows across the room. This is a massive kind of grotto space. Although you've been in this stone-walled maze for hours at this point, it opens up to where there's like grass and mud and moss all surrounding this natural-looking pool, which is fed by this constant sort of drip of maybe rainwater or something from up above in that skylight. And across this like couple hundred feet, you hear kind of movement, scratching, scurrying feet as you step through the door. And sort of on the horizon over this like small natural hill on one side of this lake comes shuffling a very bone-thin old man. Very weathered by time. And he yells, "Who goes? Who's here? Who's opened the door after all these years? Who is here?" And he kind of squints to see you as the sun changes.
Well, hi-lo. You may call this a Morroway. Who are you? How did you get in here? Did you get trapped?
Trapped is one way of putting it. I am the mage Wyasthira, and he bows low. And he says, I am a cleric of the god Eztar. And I have been trapped in here for I don't know how long. What is the year?
That was a great question.
I seem to have left my calendar at home.
What is the year?
It is 1697, and one of you naturally remembers that. Suddenly he's worried about you all.
It's the year of the chicken.
Yes, the year of
I
the chicken.
don't know. I'm not from here.
He says, "My goodness, I've been in here since the year of the donkey."
Oh,
Cannot be. Time moves so strangely here. He says, "Please, how did you open the door?"
Well, we said the word, and then didn't open.
Said a word, and it opened these devilish locks. And he sits down, and he says, he like sits on this stump now that he's closer to you, and he says, "Please, do you have food, meat? Perhaps I've been living off vegetation for all these years." And you can tell he is.
Immediately look at Bula.
Bula's got this, her new favorite bag. She just starts digging around and she starts handing him those like fancy hors d'oeuvres. So like just little teeny tiny, like, here's this one, try this one. This one's okay. This one's better. Maybe some of these. I thought I had some. Oh no, I ate all those. But here's more of these.
He's
just like shoving them at it, like almost into his cheeks.
He's got a little like woven kind of like drinking cup that he filled up at the water side and is drinking as he eats.
don't try to give them too much Bula. If people haven't eaten in a long time, they can hurt themselves if they eat too much.
He's right. This is very
Well,
rich.
see, that's why I was giving him the little ones. I mean, I've got like a whole side of beef in here too, but I didn't give him that one.
And he's just chewing and swallowing and kind of starts to slow down on the food a little bit, hearing that. He's like, you're right. It would not be healthy for me to lose some of the richest food I've had in years. How did you find this place? It's hidden quite well by Eztar's secrets, and I believe even when I was active in the city, it was only us clerics who knew the way to this temple.
Just grabs Dark down, just pushes her forward.
He like kind of falls backwards off the log that he's sitting on.
This one is looking for something in this pyramid, and she led us here. She could see through all the illusions that masked the way. Darkdown, do you recognize this man?
Darkdown looked at him long. And you see her pupil of her one green eye like constricting, contracting, looking at him, trying to read him. And she says, "Know him, Darkdown does not. Darkdown does not know, but it has the glow of the god of illusions. It is cleric of Eztar. It lies not." And he says, who is this child thing?
6
This
foot
is
one
our
eyed
friend. Her name is Darkdown. Isn't she a cutie patootie?
She used to be Elle. I forgot her name. Used to be a person, then she got cursed.
Fellshade.
Eureka.
Eureka.
Yeah,
Eureka
Yurka.
Fellshade.
Yeah, and then she got turned into this thing for messing with magic too much. And yeah, are you aware of any, I don't know, magic artifacts here that we could help you with?
I fear you've arrived too late. I was on duty and guarding the temple entrance and the maze beyond when a devil and his thrall fooled me and sealed me within, taking the mace with them.
Say a mace?
The mace.
You say.
Indeed. If you know about
Maces are fun.
If you know about the artifact, this is what you seek. The Mace of Eztar is a powerful weapon indeed. Unfortunately, by now it will be long gone in the hands of that devil and its thrall.
Are we saying it's gonna be that devil that was the name on the door of Sulvok? Was that
Speak
him?
not that name in my presence. Sulvok is one who I
Your
cannot
presence too?
hide.
Idos and Seraphina are also presents.
Inside joke. Where can we find this soul pack? Please don't say hell or Inferno or something.
Well, I did say he is a devil. He is indeed the devil, one of them, of the 9 hells. So he will be likely there. It is his thrall who could lead you to him, who, unless some deserved fate has befallen him, will still be walking this plane.
And what did the thrall look like? Did they announce themselves? Did they tell you their name at all?
He claimed to be a courtier above with the people of this city. The people of this city are lazy and foolish, and he fit in with them easily, and claimed he was seeking the favor of the gods and Eztar. He went by the name Archangel.
Any idea where this Archangel might be now?
takes a bite and chews. I could not say. I've been barely able to keep myself alive from the vegetation that grows within this grotto. Not even knowing what's happened in my city outside has driven me near to madness. However, the plans that this devil revealed through Archangel to myself when they believed me to be naught but dead reveals that their plans would keep them on the Middle Continent for some time. He would not have gone far.
Can I make an insight check, please?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, poopy. It's a 15.
Oh, poopy.
I mean, it was a 10. I have a +5. I was hoping for a little bit better.
Okay. He to you seems to be telling the truth. You find it to be like a bit strange that he knows as much as he does. Like you're like thinking like, well, why would they tell you anything? And why would you know anything? But otherwise he does what he's saying about the mace and him being trapped inside seem to be on the up and up.
Where was the mace placed at?
Within this grotto.
Yeah.
It was at the bottom of the pool. And he points in where the water is dripping directly into this about 200 foot wide, sort of natural looking pond. The water drips like into the dead center with just ripples coming out every couple minutes. He says, I brought them in for a baptism in Eztar's light. And this is when they were able to go below and find the mace. Somehow they knew it was here, though it has been a secret well guarded for many years by Eztar's illusions. And he looks at Dark Down, who's kind of like shrunk away from him a little bit, but has not stopped looking at him. And he says, this one was cursed. By what?
Not sure. She messed with some magic about the gods. That's all I got out of her.
Dark Down
Doesn't
says,
like the gods very much.
Dark Down says, cursed by Eztar. Eztar cursed Dark Down. Dark Down learned how gods react when you dig for their secrets. This archangel should not have swam below for their secrets. Foolish, foolish. Fellshade was foolish. Dark Down need forgiveness. And the old elf looks at her up and down and says, you have come to Eztar's grotto. You have freed me. And you come seeking forgiveness. Does this align with what you all know as her keepers?
Keeper's a strong word, really. More like, it's just traveling the same direction.
She is looking to go back to her former self. If maybe offering herself Eztar's mercy, and seeing as you are a cleric of Eztar, perhaps you could grant that forgiveness in Eztar's name and, remove this curse that afflicts her.
I have been unable to help a child of Eztar in many, many years. If forgiveness is sought, Eztar is merciful and kind. And he looks at Dark Down and says, however, a god's punishment is not so easily ended. While I can lift a curse as a cleric of Eztar, there will still be a cost, which will follow you throughout your lifetime.
We have gold.
I fear it is not a cost that money can pay. It will be a cost burdening this dark down for all of her days.
Killian will look over to Darkdown and just kind of look in that big old eye of hers and say, Eureka, is this something that you are agreeable to? Living with whatever the consequence of lifting this curse may be?
Fell Shade will pay this cost for Darkdown to know freedom again.
Well, I think you have your answer, mage.
He sets his cup aside again and stands shakily and walks over to the edge of the water and holds out an arm for Darkdown, who for the first time in a while like stands up on 2 feet and shakily walks over, follows him nervously, blinking back at you all, blinking at Seraphina. And Darkdown says, Darkdown will go now. Darkdown will be different? And the old man nods and says, hopes be that Eztar will smile upon you and lift this curse from your shoulders. And Darkdown looks back at Seraphina and Glitterbell one more time, and a big fat tear spills over that she's been holding. And she steps into the water. And as she does so, the old elf begins this prayer. And it's in an old forgotten language that the inflections of which sound very celestial in nature. And he takes a hold of Darkdown's clawed hands in his and dips them beneath the water as he's saying this prayer. And he holds her dripping hands up to the skylight pointed above them. And the water drips down her arms and down onto her face, and she closes her eye and tilts her head back. And as his prayer goes on, the skylight goes from this like dark nighttime, sort of just moonlit dimness, and she opens her eye as it switches suddenly to bright sunlight beaming down into her eye, and she screams. And as she screams, he thrusts her beneath the water surface underneath. And it sizzles like ice being put into a hot frying pan, and bubbles and spits, and he holds her under for a second, and he yells out the last part of this prayer to Eztar as he thrusts her back up. No longer Darkdown, but a woman. White-haired, the water streaming down her face, her hair covering her eyes. A bit bony, middle-aged, but otherwise healthy-looking. Comes up and gasps in a normal voice. Eztar! And he pats her back, tries to help her as she's kind of choking up water, and brings her over to the shore. And she kind of crawls out of the water, weakened.
Killian will walk
everyone's
over
fine.
and kind of take off his cloak and just kind of wrap it around her.
Yeah, she, having been naked, is shivering as she sits on the edge of the pool and kind of cries, and she's got her eyes held in her hands, just bent over like this. And she doesn't look at you as she does so. Bobby, you look like you're talking, but I can't hear you.
Oh no! I would like to call Hearth. Sorry, my dogs were going crazy outside. I would like to call Hearth somewhat near her, just so the little bonfire heat warms her a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, it seems to be helpful. She leans in that direction just a little bit toward Hearth.
Killian, kind of kneeling next to her, will just ask, "Can you tell me who you are?"
She lifts her head from her hands and looks up at you. And her eyes they have irises that are rimmed with the same bright green that Darkdown's eye was, but the inside of those irises and her pupils are pure white. And she blindly kind of looks toward your voice, but is clearly unseeing. Her eyes aren't really moving. She says, I am the Magus Eureka Felshade. I am the seer of Tuzankin. I was also Dark Down, and I thank you for showing her the kindness you did. And she goes and starts rubbing her eyes again, trying to, rub some sight back into them.
Eureka, can you tell me the last thing that you remember before you were changed into Darkdown?
I was, ambitious. I was searching. I was projecting my consciousness into the celestial plane. I sought the secrets of Eztar, and I was angry. I was angry that these secrets were hidden from man, from me, from us. And as I searched, I did not find those secrets, but Eztar found me. And then I was shunted back into a body that was no longer mine, and a mind that was broken.
And through your research into the plane, did you learn about the Mace of Eztar?
I did. I did not know what it was. I knew that it was a weapon of Eztar's. I knew it was used back before the wars, before the Accordance. I knew that it was not made for the hands of man. And that the U cult, the UUU cult, sought it out.
Do you have
And
any...
I would not let them have it.
The UUU cult is quite a mystery to us. It seems like you had some kind of contact with them. Can you tell us a little bit about them? Maybe what their motives are in Tuzankin?
Their motives. She laughs a little bit madly. You see a flash of dark down as she laughs a little bit. She says, They follow a leader. I know this much. This leader is a sort of a last hope for them. He's supposed to be the one who will usher in the time of all of the gods. He is supposed to re-invite the forbidden gods, the uninvited ones. This is what they all aim for. And this mace was some piece, I don't know what piece, but some piece of that. And I'm sure that where there is one piece of that, there is more to their plan. Unfortunately, as I said, I was too ambitious. I cared not for their plans. I cared not for anything. Only that the gods held their secrets close to their chests, and I was angry.
What would happen if the uninvited gods were invited back?
This is beyond a mage who peddles lies for coins. I know not.
Killian will look over to the cleric of Eztar and pose that same question to them that Eidos just asked Eureka. What would happen if the uninvited gods were invited back to this plane?
He says, well, it is a common misconception that the uninvited gods hold no power over Dion. The Accordance era only began, this peace between the gods only began when they came to an arrangement, an agreement that though they could not hold sway over Dion and her followers, those gods, that they could still amass followers amongst the mortal races. So they have power here, but that power is dependent upon those who serve them and the deeds we do to prove their goodness and their godlyhood. I know not what this cult speaks of. My religion is one like any other. The gods are already here. There is no need to try and follow one who claims they will upset the balance of things.
Well, we came here to help Darktown be returned to her former state, looking better, Eureka. Do we really need concern ourselves with the dealings of the gods?
I mean, me for one, I'm kind of interested as Ere is the one I worshipped, and she is an unwelcome one, as you guys have said before. So that's a little bit in my purview.
That'd be good news. Maybe you can meet her if they succeed and invite her back.
I don't know if their plans are a good one or not. Not one to cast in, like, if they had the ability to do it before, why didn't they, if they had the means or the tools to do it? But Ere and Eztar have decided not to. So I'm assuming there's some type of reason they've done that. Or else they would have, gone to our clerics and said, hey, grab me these things so I can be welcomed back into the family or something.
And they are gods, I suppose, yeah.
Correct.
Wait, the UU Union, Union, thank God they needed better branding. They were after
It's called
you.
The Union. The U Union.
The Union.
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 They were after you.
Union.
Union. Turn to Eureka and to say the Union was after you while you were in your dark down form. We saw some of your writings and saw that you were learning the locations of certain artifacts that they were interested in. Was the mace one of them? Did you help them find it?
This was it, yes. The mace, it was what I was after, what they were after. Though I was going to let it lie, and I burned, as dark down I fear to say I ate the proof of where it lay, so that it was only within Darkdown's twisted, agonized little mind where it was hidden. I knew not that it had already been taken, so I hope that neither does this Union, as you will call them.
Did you learn the location of any of the other artifacts? Maybe you can just take one of the pieces away from them.
I did not. Though it sounds as if whoever took this one, this devil, would likely know. If they're after one, they would be after the others, one would imagine. In my research, it did not seem to be they were quite useful individually, but together.
And Yurika, does the name Archangel sound familiar at all to you?
Unfortunately, no. I never came across the name.
Old priest guy.
Why
have
is Thyra? Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I am also a cleric of one of the unwelcome ones, Ere. I am curious. Some clerics are able to talk to their gods or give some type of communication with them or type of sign. Are you able to get in contact with Ishtar or Estar?
I have tried over the years here many times. I can feel Estar's presence, and I have accomplished no more than that. I believe Estar kept me alive and kept me sane within this sanctum, but I believe that is all that he could do for me.
Just throwing it out there. Would it be possible to receive a blessing of Estar while we're here? Well, at least for me. I feel like that might be helpful later on if we're going to be tracking down possible artifacts of each of the gods. Possibly.
I can baptize you within the waters as I have done for this Miss Fellshade. I wouldn't fear. You don't have a curse upon you, so normally it's quite a tame procedure.
Yeah, that would be quite an experience if that just shooting water sizzling everywhere would be. Yeah, I mean, I'm down either way, but yeah, that hopefully see how it goes.
I'm down with the baptism.
Down with the baptism.
When in Rome.
All right. Yeah, once again, he goes over to the water, stands about thigh deep, gestures for you to join him.
Sure.
And once again, he starts praying in this old celestial language. Takes your paws in his, dips them into the water, raises them up toward the skylight, lets the water drip down you. In this time, those of you who are watching, you see the water as the prayer is going on and as this baptism is happening. These like illusory water spirits and animals kind of start flying around. They fly over and in between each of you and sort of weave around the room as this baptism is happening, and then they wisp away as the illusion magic calms. And Zada, you hear him sort of do this countdown, for lack of a better word, in this other language, and gently tips you back into the water, under the water, and underneath. You see the water is just changing color and shape, and you can't see the surface, even though it's just above your head as you're dunked back. It just appears you are floating down in an endless ocean for just a moment, and then he pulls you back up, and the illusion breaks. And you come up with a +1 to perception checks. And he walks with you out of the pool. And he says, "Now, I understand the importance of why you have come here. I have been trapped here for a long time. I must return to the surface now. I need a hospital and food."
Yeah. Cure wounds. There you go, buddy.
He's not wounded. It's barely helpful.
Go out there and be somebody.
Those emotional wounds that cure wounds can't heal.
Yes.
It's a deep trauma.
Trauma, yeah. Yeah, he feels a bit therapized.
That's okay. We have Vilica. She's good with mind manipulation, right? She could just make them all go away. Just all years just melted away.
She
I
does
would
that like
to
crazy
cast
dark
therapy
down laugh.
session as a ritual.
She does that crazy dark down laugh as you say that, and Wyastara goes over to the door and like runs a hand down the door frame as if he can't really believe that it's open. He like feels ahead of him before he walks through.
Killian will ask Seraphina in her, many probably bags that she carries with her, many outfits, if she has one that we can just give to, good old naked Yurika over here.
Seraphina says, "Of course," and then pulls out her least favorite dress and hands it over.
Yes.
Killian will like kind of take the cloak and like look away and give her like a little tapestry to kind of change behind.
She does. She takes it, and you hear her kind of struggling as her eyes are still blinded by the sun during the baptism, and you hear her rustle into this dress. And she taps your hand to let you know she's done, and you drop the cloak. And she kind of like grabs your arm to stand, and she says, I also, I need to leave this place, please.
Yes, and Killian will kind of, give her his arm just to kind of guide her out.
You all make your way back through the maze, and you find yourself like almost immediately turn around. Like you go back out the doorway, and the hallway goes a different direction than you thought it did when you got here. Different walls are like illusory. It's a totally different maze going this time through. And at one point, Yurika like stops you. She like taps your hand, and says, "My eyes, they can't see, but for the illusions." And she points just to a wall. You go over and put a hand through it, and it's a door. She says, "I can only see the illusion now." And just like she led you in, she's able to lead you back out of Eztar's maze. And you all manage to emerge back onto the road. That initial alleyway where you found the center of the city and the maze. And you step out, and you look around, and there's some like different like windows in the side of the pyramid that you can see out of, and it appears almost no time has passed. It's still the same time of day as when you went under.
They'd also look over at Chiffon and say, "Oh, sorry, I forgot you were here. It's probably best that you don't say anything about what we saw down there, just in case the Union learns of what we found today."
Quite right, my friend. It is lucky for you. I see nothing. I remember nothing. I have the mind of, say, a very small, cute ladybug. Just flits right out the window. Bye-bye, memories.
Well, has your ladybug mind heard of this archangel in the city?
Well, I never have. Unfortunately, it sounds like quite a character. He would have been someone I would invite to a party for sure if I had known him.
I think you need to curate your party list a little better.
Well, this is why you're going to help me narrow down the list quite a bit, eh? You're going to help me get off the party list altogether.
Oh, yes, of course. I thought you wanted us to kill your friends. Yeah, that's much more manageable. Do you know anybody, before we do eliminate all your contacts, who might know the location of Archangel, or where a devil might be if they weren't in hell?
She pulls out this little like notebook and starts like flipping through all of her, like it's her little black book, and she's like, "Oh, I went on the best date with this man once. It was so fun." And she's flipping through, and she's like, "You see, the thing about my friends and why I so desperately want to go so far away is because I look through this book now and I think to myself, these are all idiots. These are all people who know nothing about anything at all. I don't know that any of them even have the hobbies." Quite sad.
Yes.
I have nothing. I'm sorry. If I knew, I would tell you in a second, in a heartbeat.
I appreciate you trying. But
Chiffon, do you know anyone in the city that may have, let's say, risen to a high status within a relatively short amount of time?
She thinks for a moment. She says, I am not so much one for the politics, so I don't know about that. Oh, what about in a more lucrative business, perhaps? Some would say the most lucrative business in Suntapelli has a new monsieur, a new head honcho, a new how do you say leader of the sex workers.
yes, leader of the sex workers, of course.
I don't know in this language how you would say such a thing, but yes. This is something I might know a little bit about, but do not tell anybody that I know that, okay? I have a reputation. I am a good, clean girl. But, yes, indeed. Come. She leads you, it's sort of counterproductive. She leads you into a more crowded part of the road in this, like, shopping district. But you find that the noise, the chatter around you kind of covers up the conversation a little bit more than an empty alleyway. And she sits you all down at, like, outside this little cafe. And she says, so, here is the thing. There is this, man who, rumor has it, I has never met him, but he is apparently quite handsome, this tiefling man. He has the horns of the brightest red, and he came into the city apparently, some many years ago, and what used to be sort of an amalgamation, a hodgepodge of the sex work industry, with everybody running their own houses, everybody running their own little concierge businesses on the side. He managed to quite quickly consolidate them into one sort of house. And since then, he has had an iron grip on the industry. People say he treats his workers quite well. People say he has made Suntapelli the center of the love arts. I have not partaken myself, of course. But I know those who have.
Okay, so just have to meet. Can you make it like an appointment to see this person, or can we just meet him?
Well, I believe it has been many years since he took clients by himself. However, I am sure if you gave it enough time, you would have the pleasure of meeting him at one of his pleasure houses.
Well, it's as good a place as any, and our friend down there did say that this archangel was a courtier before he, got the mace, so maybe this leader of the sex workers would know something about him.
This is why I tell you, see, you put connections together. This is why I knew I could trust you all to help me, because I help you and we all are friends, yes? So, yes, if I were to follow that thread, that is what I would do. Do you think I could be a detective? I need a job once I am no longer here, under my parents' money. Maybe I should be un detective.
Un detective.
I think you would be pretty good at it.
So far, you're doing better than us.
I agree, thank you. Oh my goodness, okay, yes, this is maybe something I shall pursue. This shall be scandalous. And,
Did the
she
old
said
man
that.
follow us?
He did follow you up and out, and, you saw him kind of like,
Bolt.
tap Killian on the shoulder and give you all a, I am going to go to the temple, if you require anything else, I thank you for your help. Unfortunately, I have no coin to give you. But if you need me, I'm going to seek out the other clerics of Eztar, if there are any left in the city.
We
He,
wish you the best of luck.
thank you. He gives you a bow and hurries off. As much as a very, very, very old elf can. He's like the oldest elf any of you have ever seen. Not looking well.
Give him 2 years. Dead.
Yurika, who's just been sitting silently, just kind of like staring, not staring at the table, says, I understand we have come a long way. My memories of my time as Darkdown are scattered at best. How do I get back to Tuzenkin from here? How far are we? Did we cross an ocean?
Oh, we've kind of rode the coast, I believe, kind of a thing.
We're still on the middle continent then, yes? This is
Yes.
Suntapelli. Suntapelli is on the middle continent. Good, excellent.
We will be making our way back to Zank, and I imagine after this, if you want to maybe wait for us to conduct our business here, rest up, and then we'll all ship back together.
We did leave. Well, last time we saw your place, it was on fire, though.
You do not have a home. Yeah.
The House of Paramnesia has burned.
Yes.
It would seem, yeah, it was not a very pretty sight. There were a couple of mean people looking for you, and they threw a bunch of fireballs at everyone, and it was not a very good time.
No.
It was the Union.
The Union, yes.
The Union.
The Union.
They burned down your
Hey,
house.
I got twisted up with those monsters. That was my livelihood. What will I do? Fuck. Okay. Fine. The gods have forgiven me. It'll be fine. She sits back, totally defeated.
I mean, we know a really good inn that's looking for some work.
Which inn?
The Boy and Banshee. Have you heard of it?
Boy and Banshee.
We're just gonna send everyone there.
It's a great place.
I am one of the
place.
I am the most prominent magus that Tuzenkin has ever seen. And you want me to work at the Buoyant Banshee?
I mean, it's if you need somewhere to start, everyone's got to start somewhere, right? So
You're welcome. You're more than welcome to work somewhere else that you know of.
I'm just saying we could recommend you a place there.
Fair enough.
We're not
My
from there.
apologies. It's not on you.
What if you also one of your prominent people that used to see the treasurer? He's dead now, so you don't have to worry about that one.
Killed him.
The treasurer. Aaron?
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, he was a piece of shit. That's fine. Good job.
Fantastic.
On that we can agree.
Daddy issues, am I right?
Yeah. For that
Who
makes
doesn't?
sense.
Moraway realizing that she is now homeless due to war and battle, he's gonna reach into his pouch and pull out another one of his little orange flower seeds, and grow it into another one of his little orange flowers, and then kind of hold it out to her. But he's also going to cast minor illusion in the exact same spot that the flower is, so that she can see it, and create an illusion of the flower.
She jumps as it appears in front of her. And she reaches around it to feel for your hand to see who's holding it out to her.
I know it's me.
Takes it.
I understand that you don't have a home anymore, and once upon a time it was my people's place to step in and give you a home for that. So I will do my absolute best to make sure that we find you a place to live that's happy and good for you.
Darkdown took over for a second and she went to eat it, and then she realizes and puts it in her ear instead. Thank you, Maraway. It is strange. We are friends. We are not friends. Darkdown was your friend. Correct?
Well, I mean, Darkdown was my friend, but I mean, even if you look at us as strangers are just friends you haven't met yet.
It has been some time since I've had friends. Interesting. Why were you friends with Darkdown? I only vaguely remember how I felt inside that creature. She looks at
Well.
Seraphina. You're awfully quiet. She loved you.
Seraphina says, and I loved her too. And she needed help, and we saw that and gave it to her. As we would with anyone.
You sound different through human ears. Strange.
Yes.
Does anyone have a Ricola for Seraphina?
Chiffon says, I
You're
will
really
visit you a
coming down
tea
with
and some
something.
honey, don't worry.
I mean, Dark Dan wasn't a bad person. She was just scared and alone and different.
She thinks for a moment and says, no, Darkdown was not the bad person. The bad person is Eureka Fellshade, and she sits here now, undeserving.
Everyone deserves a second chance.
And you've
Everyone.
already paid. Yes, I agree entirely. And you've already paid the cost of your crime. No use paying more than you need to.
The person who gave you the curse decided to lift it, so God decided that you were worthy of being redeemed, so all is needed. And Dark Down and you are basically the same person. I mean, maybe your mind's a little shattered, but still the same person.
There's a Dark Down in all of us.
That's a terrifying thought.
I hope not.
Think about it. Who knows?
I worry. Why? I spent much time projecting into the celestial plane and searching. And the gods, well, they're not... Well, quite frankly, they're fucking terrifying. And unforgiving, the lot of them. And what did Dark Down do to deserve this? I suppose I'm concerned, but I should be counting my blessings instead of being concerned. And God knows I will not be trusting the gods again, or crossing them. I will keep my nose to myself.
That's fair. I mean, it's a good idea, probably. Me, also, probably don't want to, but I'm going to go to the Temple of Ere now since we're here, and I know it's not that far away before we start going to the red light district, so...
Usually we go there afterward, but I suppose we can make an exception this time.
I just have a feeling that I may not get a chance again after we leave here. It's going to flight us off to some other strange adventure.
Well, as you can probably imagine, I am not in any rush to go back into another Temple of the Gods. I would prefer going back to wherever we've been staying here.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
can.
fine. Seraphina
can-
could escort you there,
Yeah.
probably.
That would be most preferable, thank you. She takes another drink of her drink and makes sure Seraphina picks up a tea with honey for that sore throat.
Come, Eureka, take my arm. We will return to the inn.
Here, because, like, you sound pretty sexy, actually. I like it.
Thank you. Don't sound too bad yourself.
Oh, let's go. You hear Seraphina flirting with Yurika as they walk away.
Damn it, she's better than Eidos even when she's not here.
Even when sick.
Okay. You're all gonna head to the Temple of Ere then?
Yeah, you guys can come or not. It's up to you. I can meet you back here, or
As long as I won't be struck down.
you have any reason to? Does anybody want vengeance on you?
From the gods, I don't think they've taken.
No,
much
just
of this.
normal people. She
Oh,
is the
then-
goddess of vengeance.
Then yes, I think I'll stay out here.
Oh, just stay next to me. I'll protect you. Fine.
Chiffon
On
is
our
your...
way, I want to like tug at Bula's shirt and be like, Bula, I have some questions. I don't really understand. What is a sex worker?
Oh. Dang it, why do I always get these questions? Okay.
That's 100% you,
So-
Bula.
Okay. Okay. So you know how some people, like other people or like the way other people look, and then you wanna so just trying to think of like the nicest way to put it. Okay, you know how some people just like doing it Marway?
Doing
Just
what?
like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Bula, what is it?
Okay. So you know how some people like just enjoy each other's company
Uh-huh.
in an intimate way though.
Like friends, Maraway.
With like no,
Chiffon comes
A
up and
little more
links
than
her arm with both of your arms, and she says, Bula, this is painful to watch. I adore you. However,
it's painful to do. No.
I shall take pity on you, sweet Maraway. When two people have many big feelings for each other, sometimes they think they are very pretty, sometimes they think their mind is so fascinating, sometimes they are just bored. They do the thing where they use specific parts of their bodies to feel the physical pleasure with each other. Sometimes you could do it by yourself too, but the sex work industry is one in which one of those parties gets paid because they are so good at doing the physical pleasure. Does it make sense?
Oh, yes, like a massage. That's perfect.
It's
Yes.
exactly Marway, like a massage. Yes, quite a bit more pleasant. So you should try it sometime if you've never have, or don't. Some people don't like it at all. It's okay.
Do they not have sex where you come from, Maraway?
I don't. For what? I
For-
don't really know what it is.
How were you born?
Well, my mother did what every mother does. She made me with magic.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Mine did too, right?
This is a different kind of making magic.
Kind of magic, yeah.
Mm.
This
It's,
is the magic of the physical persuasion.
But
Definitely two-party
this is the magic of the naughty bit.
And magic it usually is. Except for when some people are quite bad at it. Some people needs the practice for it to be the magic.
Right.
I don't really understand still, but I think I don't know.
Yep.
Don't worry, we'll cross that bridge when we get to the red light district. It'll all be pretty apparent. If you have any questions, Bula's here to answer.
Oh, come on.
Eventually, you make it to the Temple of Ere. And it's small, and it is very much like sort of like a military complex, a small like base of warriors and guardsmen. The few people in this city, there's not a lot of people in this city who worship Ere, it being a very peaceful sort of vacation destination. But there's a small contingent of just like peacekeepers and such. And they make the Temple of Ere kind of their base.
I'm gonna go up to Killian. And do you know? I feel like you're probably one of the most versed in the gods. Do you know of the teachings of Ere at all?
Maybe nothing aside from what you've spoken of. We've talked before that Ere is an unwelcome one, and a lot of my upbringing did not, let's say, discuss the unwelcome gods too often. But I am curious to learn if your temple here is willing to have me.
I would be happy to tell you, and if I'll turn to everybody else, the teachings of what my people think Ere is. I'm not sure if it's differences here, but I can give you kind of a small go-to of what my people tell of Ere. Maybe this will kind of give you an understanding of why we do not think of her as an unwelcome one. If you don't mind. You don't have to. It's just something I would like to share. People seem to give her such a bad rap, but I would like to at least tell you what my people think of her, what I think she stands for.
No, I'm certainly up for learning a little bit more about Ere.
This is something you're so passionate about, then I'm curious as well.
All right. So I'm sure it's like a small temple. He'll just, as he enters, kind of get down on his knees, like touch the earth to his feet and stuff like that. Make sure his paws are touching the ground, and then goes all the way down, puts his head onto the floor. Then he'll stand up, go to the, start walking into the altar. He says, Ere, a lot of people think Ere is the the goddess of war. And she is, but I feel like people don't understand exactly what the goddess of war is. To us, war is brought down as like a primordial thing. Everything has two things about it. Everything is competing in some way. That's what we kind of think of it as, a competition. And that's what Ere represents, this primordial force in the world. How each thing survives to survive. And you're always fighting against something to survive, whether it be hunger, predators, starvation, dehydration, other people. All these things for us represent the conflict, a war between two factions, two things. Those, for us, that is what Ere represents. For every breath we take, isn't that just not fighting against death? A war against the death that awaits us all. We fight every day to live. We eat, drink, just so we can live another day, and that is but a fight to death. And for us, that is what we see, and we worship that thing, because without conflict, without a drive at things that you want, there wouldn't be love, there wouldn't be drive in this world, because if you want something, you fight for it. You are passionate to fight for those things, or learn, or, if you love somebody, don't you want to fight for their affections? All these things come down to what we think Ere is. You don't see her as just a goddess to be called upon when two conflicts go out, or two war parties are fighting, but just something that always has been, and is what is necessary in this world to survive, or for things to move, and it brings life to such beautiful things. Like, we see the plants do it. If in a forest, if a tree falls, small plants start to gather where the dead falls, and then they all fight to try to get up to the canopy above so they can survive, so that they can be one day the same thing happen all over again. And they aren't even conscious beings, but they still fight for that sunlight, for that to live, even though it may damn other things in its place. And that's what we believe in. At least for my people, that is what we believe Ere is. She is not unwelcome. She is just something that is. It may not be a happy thing sometimes, but it is a necessary thing. And that's what we give thanks to. As he explains all this, he's going through burning some incense and giving thanks to Ere, doing a small prayer. And he's like, and that's what Ere represents to me, and I hope that gives you a little bit more understanding that she isn't an unwelcome one, maybe. Maybe everybody should worship Ere a little bit every day, because everybody fights for something. Every day.
Well, I do like how you explained how your people worship Ere, Zata. Perhaps it's, maybe it's a little bit different from where you are back home, but I suppose in all of my knowledge or learnings about Ere, a lot of people used Ere as almost like let's just say a calling to go to war, to conquer, to conquest other maybe weaker individuals. But the way that you explain it, if that was more explained in the middle continent and back home where I'm from, I feel like people would understand a lot more, because what you're saying is that the war, not for grand scales wars, but the battles that we fight every day, whether it's as you mentioned, the fight for survival or the fight for someone's affections and love. I feel like that makes sense to me. I understand a little bit more about I feel like I understand a little bit more about your people now, and I appreciate you taking the time and teaching me a little bit about that.
I hope to teach this to the whole middle continent, because I see that people look upon her disdainfully, and she does have things, but again, you fight for is something that you should desire, and if, again, vengeance is not an injustice that you feel to yourself, and take upon somebody or yourself to correct those wrongs. Whether it be because a war happened and took over your country and you want vengeance for the people that was killed during that war. She is a very salient singular, and she encompasses much, and not all of it bad.
Well, does vengeance not just continue a circle of violence, though?
Of course it does.
It seems
we're
like
always
this.
gonna stand up, and I don't feel comfortable in this place, and just walk out and leave.
Bula will follow him.
Vengeance can be a tool, but it can be a tool to keep on living. But yes, violence can go against violence and continual circle. But it also, like any tool, can be used for a good purpose or a bad purpose, and it can be continually done over and over again. But I feel like Ere is the tool, and those who wield her name, those are the people that you must ask the question to, because everybody's vengeance can be different. If someone wronged my family or killed my tribe, I would just wipe out anybody here. If anybody was injured, as I showed before, if anybody was injured because of another person in this group, I will not hesitate to take vengeance and exact to kill them. Because sometimes you need to cut out the rot. But some people take too much.
Does seem to be a brutal philosophy, but maybe one of balance in the way that you speak of it.
Yes, and that is all what I am about balance.
Quite a few city guard have sort of come out of the different parts of the temple and the barracks into this yard where you're having this conversation and burning the incense. And one of whom is wearing a nicer version of the uniform. And he finally interrupts and says, You know a bit about the god Ere? Interesting. Would you like to put your devotion to the god of war to the test today? My boys could always use a bit of practice on a well-honed warrior.
There's a challenge I will accept.
All right, and we're going to take a break right here. We'll be back in about 10 minutes to see what becomes of our friends here. So come on back at 9:35-ish. And we'll see you all in a few minutes. Take a little break. Welcome back, friends and loved ones. Before we went to break, this gang managed to open that door in the temple beneath Santapelli. Did not find the artifact that they were looking for, but instead found a very old, very thin, worn-out elf man, a cleric of Eztar, who had been tricked and trapped inside that temple by a devil and its thrall, who goes by the name Archangel. They headed out with him and with a newly cured Eureka Fellshade, formerly Darkdown, and their friend Chiffon. Eureka and Seraphina went back to the hotel for some rest, and the rest of the gang went to the Temple of Ere, Zada's god, where they are going to, they took a little tour, and Zada did some explaining about his religion and where he comes from, when the captain of the city guard comes out with some of his guardsmen and challenges them to a bit of a sparring match. Always eager for an opportunity to hone their skills and their blades a bit sharper. So, here we are, everybody. Go ahead as the guards kind of snicker and pull out their weapons. Go ahead and roll initiative, please.
No, they're those kinds of guards.
Should me and Robin just roll a d10 and have it a cumulative?
Yes. Yes, please do.
Oh, seriously? Okay.
You two stepped out, but you're going into the combat tracker.
I'm not helping you much.
Well, even though, are we seriously rolling d10s?
It's so
Yeah.
I remember to come to your conversation.
Legit,
Yeah,
legit.
both of you roll a d10 and we'll add it.
Do I still get to use my initiative since it's different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 10.
I got a 3, so we're at a 13.
All right. Roll 13.
We're gonna be smack dab in the middle of this fight. Just pause for a commercial break.
All right. Ados, what did you roll?
8.
Zada?
14.
Ilian?
17, but Zata, if you want to switch with me, I'm okay with that, because this is kind of your big old is your thing.
All right, we're gonna alert this. I'm gonna high five like Persona 5. Just switch.
Wow.
Swap.
Okay, remind me who got what there.
So now Zada's 17,
17.
Yeah.
Okay.
and Killian is 14.
Okay. I just got very randomly lightheaded and blacked out for a second. I'm good.
That happens to me sometimes.
Every now and
Surprise!
then. Hey, brain. Let's maybe do things the way we should. Okay. So one of the soldiers, for some reason they didn't all end up on the thing correctly, is going to go first. So he is going to come use dash to get right in Ados' face, because you're the closest.
How rude.
Agreed. And that used his action up. And he... Okay, that's it for him. Zada, you're up next.
Zada being a super cool monk, going to use one of his new abilities. So at the start of combat, he may use how many focus points is this? I believe it's just that's right. Come at me. Yeah, so I could expend 1 focus point, and Zada is going to take a deep breath, and then when you see him exhale, you're going to see some fire start to come out of him, out of his mouth. And his mane is going to light up in fire, and then his whole so his whole mane turns into a flame, and then basically it's going to firebend y'all. So he is now all in fire, and he's going to dash up to the closest person, which is the one that's actually going to go after Eidos. He's going to go after that guy. You're going to see a fire kitty just come straight up at him. Fire kitty. Over here. And then he's going to attack with his spear. It's only going to be a 12 to hit.
Does not hit.
Okay. Bonus action. Just a normal bonus action. I'm not going to do flurry of blows, so just unarmed strike. Oh, even worse. So no hits. Zada dice are not being nice to me today. So that's an 11 to hit, so no hits.
All right. Yep, you're on fire, and it looks cool.
I am on fire. Oh yeah. So for other people that don't know, I can extend my reach up to 10 feet with this, so I have a 15-foot range with firebending.
Okay.
Nice.
Right on.
Right on.
All right. Killian, you're up.
Okay. Killian sees Fire Kitty, but he is going to run down this way towards this guard down here. He'll draw his short sword as he goes, and as he kind of pulls the blade back, he once again draws upon a blessing of Oasis as his short sword glows with some divine magic, and he's going to strike at this guy. But that is only
Is the captain, by the way.
Oh.
Just so you know.
Okay.
No, I don't know how to make them all the right colors.
Ow.
That's okay.
No.
I only got a 12. Even with a +8.
You roll. We don't roll good right now, guys.
Yeah, that's okay.
The 12 does not hit.
We're warming up.
Unfortunately.
There we go.
But that's it. That's it for me.
Okay. Next up, we have Asildir. The one to the far north. And he is going to go for Zada 2. Gonna gang up on him. With a... he's gonna use a spear for an attack. And that's
I'm gonna deflect attack. As Monk, we also get a new feature. It's called Deflect Attack. So we can spend a focus point, or we can use a reaction to deflect an attack, or redirect an attack. If I wanted to try to hit somebody else, I have to spend a focus point. But when an attack is rolled, includes bludgeoning, slashing, piercing damage that hits you, you can reduce the attack's total by 1d10 plus 6. And then if I wish to spend a focus point, I can redirect that to somebody else within 5 feet of me, which I think I want to do, and try to have him stab his friend.
Okay. They're using these like blunted spears. That was a... Let me see if I can find it. That was a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that's going to hit. So this is a d10 plus 6. If it overwrites, I believe, the damage, and redirect it.
Okay.
see that is behind.
That was 7 damage. Piercing. Or
should be
bludgeoning,
so
I suppose. They're using
10 plus 6, so that's 16 damage that I could have deflected.
Okay.
So his friend needs to make a Dex 13 save or get hit, or he takes 2d6 plus 3 damage.
Okay.
New things. I wanted to try new things.
New things. That was a 16 roll.
Okay, well he succeeds then.
So he doesn't take any of the damage, correct?
No, he dodges the attack.
Okay. But you
I
don't
do
take
not
the
take
damage.
any damage.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah, as you all are deflecting and fighting, taking these first few swipes at each other, kind of getting a feel for your fighting styles. Marway and Bula, what are you doing outside the walls?
So the whole time that Zada's been in here talking about Ere and how he sees him, and him and Killian are having this philosophical debate, Bula's just kind of over in the corner thinking like, how do I better describe to Marway what a sex worker is? And then she sees Marway leave, and she says, well, at least I can maybe try to talk this out while there's nobody around. So she follows him out, and they kind of get out on the front steps, and she puts a hand on his shoulder to kind of stop him because he's kind of running pretty quickly away from her, and she kind of grabs his shoulder and turns him, and she's like, hey, Marway. And then she sees his face, and something's not right.
Marway actively has tears welling up in his eyes, and he's actively trying to turn his head away from Bula so that she doesn't see how upset he is.
But she does. And she's dang near on the verge of raging right there on the steps because something has made Marway cry. And she stops and she looks down and she says, Marway, what's wrong?
I just don't understand how someone could worship something so evil. Something that takes so many lives from people. War was never a thing where I came from, only the repercussions of it. We saw the people who were the victims of Ere, who were the victims of battling. I don't understand.
Not everybody has seen what you've seen. Some people also think that war brings good stuff, or the victors always think that war is good. Not everybody always sees what the cost of war is, and you've seen all of that.
It's just not fair. People who don't want to fight, people who don't want this battle, and it's thrust upon them just because they're weaker. Everything I loved is gone because she came and brought war to us. It's not fair.
Who is she?
And on that, we'll jump back inside. Chiffon is like, well, it has never been an opportunity for me to ever pull out my claws, but I suppose now is as good a time of any. And she comes dashing up very quickly. Not dashing per se, but running up very quickly to one of the guards. And actually, no, she stays back where she is. And you see her reach into her purse, and she pulls out this little silver case, this little box, and she opens it up, and she says, one thing my father taught me when I was a little girl is how to throw the darts at the wall. This is much like that. And she aims with this little sharp dart and throws it at one of the soldiers attacking Sada. And she gets a 18 to hit, so that hits. For 3 damage. He lands in his forearm, and he's like, ow! She giggles. I'm so good at this. Eidos, you're up.
Eidos is going to take a deep breath and use his innate sorcery to give himself a little boost. His sorcerer spells are stronger, basically. And he's going to look this one guy right in front of him straight in the face and say, "You better back the hell off." And it's a lot more intimidating than that because he's going to cast Mind Spike.
Oh, damn. All right.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's a DC Wisdom 15.
Okay. Da-da-da. That was only a 12.
Okay, that's going to be 16 psychic damage.
All right. He drops to his knees. He's not dead, or not unconscious, but, whole lot of pain. Captain! They're not fighting fair!
I suggest you back off.
I yield! He starts to, crawl away in pain. Zada, technically you have an opportunity attack. Or was that last thing your reaction?
It's a reaction to use that.
Okay, so you don't have an opportunity attack. He's just crawling away toward the wall.
Do I get one?
Yes, you would. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to try to pop him in the ass with my rod.
Giggity.
Giggity. That's a 5.
It does not hit. Bounces off his armor.
Not my forte. And that's the end of my
It's
turn.
embarrassing, for sure.
I try to incorporate it into an
For him.
upward sweep and spin. Same
Looks cool.
face.
Looks cool.
Thanks, same.
All right. The captain who is fighting... That was it for you, right, Eidos?
Correct.
Okay. The captain is sparring with Killian. So he will go for I don't know, something fruity. Let's see.
Ooh.
The guard captain. He's gonna multi-attack you with his rapier since you're right next to him. So that was a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that one hits.
Yeah. For 15 damage.
Oh. Okay.
Oh. How you feeling there, buddy?
That was an at 20 for a 25 to hit.
Oh,
Why?
actually.
No.
Why?
Man.
It's supposed to be just like a fun, lighthearted combat. I'm gonna kill you.
Area cards be like, surprise, motherfucker.
Okay, using the nat 20 rule, which I think that might be the first time I've had to do it in this whole campaign. That's an 8 plus 7 on the roll, so that would be another 15.
Okay.
Okay.
Ouch.
Okay.
Now you see why war and battle are bad.
He hits you in each side of your rib cage with the blunt end of this blunted scimitar and knocks the wind out of you twice to the point where you're doubled over.
He got both my lungs. Oh.
Yeah, he's fast. And then I can't even tell which ones are which. Okay. Final soldier is gonna come running up. Also to kill. No, doesn't quite make it to Killian. He's just gonna shoot you with his crossbow. See what that does.
Friendly little crossbow.
Yeah, here we
Find
go.
the little crossbow.
That was almost a 7 to hit, but instead it's a dirty 20.
Oh no.
Oh. Yeah, that's gonna hit
Is
me.
that
Oh.
it?
And only a 1 on the damage dice for 2 total.
Oh.
Oh. Oh no.
Just hits me in the shoulders ow! That really hurt.
He laughs. He's this big half-orc man. Okay, first soldier's turn. I believe that's the one that is crawling away currently, and he yielded, so he's considers himself out of the fight. Zada, you're up.
I will punch punch this guy next to me. Let's go. That's better. That's an 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
All right. Six plus 3, so that's 9 points of damage. And I believe while I'm in this form, I can push him away. I might be able to, but I'm not going to do it right now. So I'm just going to punch him again.
Okay.
Oh, this is all fire damage, by the way, so this is going to be very painful.
Oh yeah, he's been burning.
So that's a 24 to hit.
That'll do.
That's 8 points of damage.
He goes down. His like cape and his sleeve are both on fire, and he's yelling like, "I yield! I yield! I yield! I yield!" It's like rolling on the ground trying to put out the fire.
Yep. So that's gonna do. Then I see Killian going down, so I will run up to this guy. That'll be my turn.
All right. Killian, Zada approaches as you're recovering from that those blows to your rib cage. What are you gonna do?
I don't want to learn about ARA anymore. So Killian will kind of almost sort of desperately strike out at this captain here. Okay, 7 plus 8. Oh, math. 15 is a 15 hit.
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay. Kind of a little bit desperately, will kind of Killian channeled some divine magic into his blade as he strikes the captain, hoping to knock him back a little bit. As he slams the sword into the captain, a large, just echoing boom occurs as he casts Thunderous Smite.
Okay.
So that's going to be he's got to make a strength saving throw, but he's going to take, oh, that's 8, and then plus 10 thunder damage, so it's going to be 18 total.
That was an 8 on the saving throw.
All right, so he gets pushed back 10 feet, and he's in the prone condition.
Okay.
And Killian's going to limp away back towards Ados.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And that will be Killian's turn.
Okay. It is Bula and Maraway. What's happening outside?
So at this point, Bula is, I mean, she, like, seriously, when I say she's on the verge of raging, she wants to know who this she is that has caused her friend so much pain. She's getting, like, the crazy eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Akhenaton. She was a dryad whose grove had been destroyed. We brought her into our home. We offered her sanctuary. We healed her wounds, and her friends were part of our community. And they slowly twisted the minds of the queen. Her people us attacked the villages. They poisoned our queen and warped the mind of all of our people. They drove my mother so insane that she killed herself. She took everything. It took all of my friends just to get me out. But I can't even get them out. They're trapped there still with those monsters. And I can't do anything about it.
Does she still live?
She always does. I can hear her at night looking for me. She haunts my nightmares. Every night I can see through their eyes. I see through all of my friends and the torments that they suffer. And I can't do anything about it. I can't get them out of there. They're trapped and I'm worthless.
You are not worthless. Even if you can't get them out, you've got people that can do something about it now.
No. You don't know the power that she has. I could never take my friends there again.
One of these days, you'll show us the way, and we'll take care of it.
I beg you to not make me face her again. I beg you not to make me watch as all of your minds are warped. As the poison of her seeps into you and changes you. I beg you not to make me watch as her wolf tears you all apart and the dragon rider destroys you from the insides. Please don't make me go back there. I just want to get them all out.
Back inside. Chiffon once
Y'all
again.
got me going on like whirlwind, like, hey, let's make Molly cry, and then we're gonna go back to the action.
All right, son.
It's a whiplash.
You deserve a daytime Emmy for this.
I'm dying inside, y'all.
And inside, Chiffon is like polishing the tip of her neck start and like aiming. And she says, "Oh, I hope I can hit again. This one's even further." And she throws it at the captain. For... Don't know all her stuff yet. An 18 to hit. She can't miss today. I like this girl. And that's going to be another 3 damage on the captain. Dane, what damage did he take on your turn? On Killian's turn? I moved him back, but I didn't have the damage. Do you remember?
18.
18, thank you.
Yeah. 8 radiant, 10 thunder, if it makes a difference.
Thank you, thank you. Okay. Eidos, you're up.
Eidos is gonna... is this guy near Eidos? He's down, right?
He got pushed back. He's further... Oh, yeah, the one that's next to you. He's yielded. He's down.
Okay.
He, just put out the fire that Sada set to his clothes.
Okay, great. Eidos is gonna walk around this fountain. That is what it looks like to me. And take aim at this homie on the left here and cast Witch Bolt.
Okay.
Witch Bolt. Yeah.
Which bolt?
Which
Witch Bolt. Oh, this one. Alright. First one was a 14. And
does not hit.
And the second one is a 25.
That hits.
Sweet. Alright. The one that is D12 looks like this. Alright. Yeah, 9 and 9 again. 18.
Oh.
He is unconscious and thrown backwards.
Nice. Take that.
He goes down hard. Smacks his head on the concrete.
He's fine.
And the captain is sees this happen and goes, some worthy opponents. I enjoy a good fight. He goes to running back towards Zada and hits you with another multi-attack with his rapier, like he did to Killian. That would be a 15 on the first one to hit.
I don't. No, Zada has 16.
I thought so. Second one is only a 7, so both times you managed to deflect. And the captain is the last one standing, so it's Zada's turn again.
He's gonna get a punch. Plus 6. 23 to hit.
That'll hit. Chiffon yells, "That is not the Santapelli fruit punch I served at my party. It's a different kind."
I was also thinking of a punch pun. That's funny.
So this is another 6 points, so that's a total of 9. So I roll a 6 again, so that's 9 points of damage. And I'll burn my last focus point and do Flurry of Blows. So 2 more attacks.
Alrighty.
Roll both of them now. So 15 and natural 1. So 1 doesn't hit because that's a nat 1. So that's a
First one does.
First one does hit. That's only 1 on the dice, so that's 4 points of damage.
Alright. And with that, you just he deflects your second punch, and he kind of takes a knee in front of you, and he says, "A fight as good as any, but a man can see when he is defeated and outnumbered. I thank you for this challenge. I yield. You are a strong follower of our beloved goddess Ere."
You did well. Practice. Always practice. And then
I do well.
the fire just creeps back into where to his heart is, and then just goes back to being a normal lion.
He stands up and shakes your paw. What's happening outside with Marway and Bula?
So at this point, he's, Marway's begging her, don't make me. And she is just barely containing her fury. I can't make that promise. No one should be able to make you leave your home when you don't want to.
You don't understand how powerful they are. And he's gonna lift up his skirt a little bit. And on his leg you see very large scars of what appears to be a wolf bite. You don't understand. It took everything they had just to get me out of here.
And you don't understand what I would do for you.
Then I need you to do what you don't want to. And not go. And not make me go. Uthamur and Siege already pressure me. They both think that I can go back and stop things, but I can't. Everything I do is through them. I have barely any power.
That's not true. I've seen you. I've seen how you are in fights. I've seen how you are with people. You have so much more power than you realize. And now, you have even more power because you have us. You don't have to decide this today, but this is not over.
I need to collect myself. I don't want them seeing me like this. And he's immediately going to try to start wiping his eyes and taking several deep breaths. But the mask is cracked and he's struggling to control himself at this moment like he usually does.
Bula comes over and she pulls out a handkerchief that, may or may not have some orcish snot on it. But she's going to find a clean corner of it, and she's going to reach down and dry his tears. We're here for you.
he like grabs onto your arm, and you can feel his legs start to shake, and as he like falls into you almost. And you can tell as he's like holding onto you, it's more than just like a hug. It is a feeling of desperation. That he desperately does not want to let you go or to put you in any kind of danger.
And for the time being, she just kind of cuddles him up and just kind of holds on to him. Like for right now, this is the best way that she can protect him.
Inside, Sada, the captain says, "Well, you have made yourself at home in our temple. Is there anything else myself or my soldiers can do for you?"
Not that I can think of. We may... long time ago. I may come to you for some information, maybe about some people that used to be around the area. Maybe you can give us some information on them. We're seeking them because they took something that wasn't theirs, and we're trying to get it back.
Thievery in my city? Ha! I will not stand for it. Tell me, who are they? If I know who they are, I will go after them myself with all of my best men.
Apparently their name, it might have been a long time ago, but apparently there was some type of courtier by maybe an alias known as Archangel.
There are many courtiers and courtesans in this city. I know not of one by the name Archangel, but I shall ask the soldiers. Some of them frequent the brothels. They may have heard a thing or two.
Do you also know where we could get a hold, if maybe you know, the brothel where a tiefling with red horns stays? Or prevails?
A tiefling with red horns. A man. A male.
Yes. Yes.
You speak of Kochar. Kochar is the best. He works at all of the houses.
Do you happen to know where he would be at this time? He may have some information.
I can't say I follow his whereabouts. He has always proven to be just a quite wise businessman. But I shall keep my ears open and let you know if I hear of his whereabouts.
Thank you. And Aerie looked upon this fight with favor, as she does all her fights.
My prayers tonight will go to your name. What is it, by the way?
I'm Zada Stormmane.
Zata Stormmane, it has been a pleasure. Kisses your paw.
Ears kind of flick at that. He's like, thank you.
And he rounds up his men and he says, "You all embarrassing! Get inside! We train twice tomorrow." They go crawling in, the ones who got severely injured. And they all go back inside for dinner.
Well, Zada, this has been an illuminating experience. Let's not visit too many of these temples.
I mean, I will be going to everyone I see, but you're welcome to come or not come if you wish to.
Oh, well, I'm not going to let you leave me behind. That'd be embarrassing. So has anybody seen Bula and Marway lately?
I kind of looks around like expecting them.
Chiffon goes out onto the street, just kind of like steps outside this training courtyard and sees them standing there. Marway's got his back to her, and she says, "You say, our little friends. What are you doing? We just had the most fun little sparring match. It was a delight. How are you?" Comes trotting over.
Bula reaches down one more time just to make sure that the tears are off of his face. Before turning.
I'm so glad that you had fun. Did you win?
Of course we won. We are the best fighters. It was a very fun time.
At this
Y'all
point,
had a fight without me?
Killian...
And you are eating the pie without me? Oh, Norway, that is Bula's favorite pie handkerchief. That is where she stores all the pies. I wish you had shared. I was hungry.
She just like takes it and kind of shoves it back in her pocket.
At this point, Killian's gonna walk out, just look completely beat to shit. Just like, oh, I don't like these temples.
Zada's gonna come by and just give you a big pat on the back, cast cure wounds.
It's like, there goes my remaining hit points. It's gone.
There you go.
Bula just looks at him. She's like, "What happened to you? You look worse than a hog on barbecue day."
Well, I was speared a few times, so I feel like a boar on barbecue day.
Got 15 points of healing from that cure wounds.
Oh,
Well, that's what you get for getting in a fight without me.
I thought you were right there, Bula. I just didn't think you would turn down an opportunity to fight. I was half expecting you. I just maybe thought that maybe some other people were around. Are you alright?
I just had some things that needed tending to, that's all.
Oh.
Yeah. I can think of a few things that it would appear we have checked everything off of your list that you needed to get done in the city, except for one friendly chiffon foxglove who you promised to help.
Is there a particular way you want to die? Or pretend to die? Do you want to be like tragic? Do you want to be like you threw yourself off of a cliff into the ocean? Like,
Oh, romantic. If I tossed my body off a cliff from heartbreak. That could be good. Might be believable.
right. I'm just, going with what we could say. We can get like maybe some of your clothes, put a bat on a bag or something, throw it over, and then like when your clothes are found, it's like, oh no, her clothes. She did it. It's terrible, but all that's left is those pieces of clothing.
With the initials preserved, just to make it easier to identify, of course.
So you're
Right.
saying that she fell off a
No,
cliff
she threw
and
herself off a cliff.
and just fell out of her clothes?
No, well, if she
Oh.
throws herself off a cliff into the ocean, like a lot of things will eat her. So some part of her cloth or something might wash up on shore that we can find as her dress, and they'll be like, "Oh no, she killed herself." It's very tragic and sad.
She says, well, the good news is, I actually have my name embroidered on all of my clothing, see? And she, like, pulls around, like, her little shawl and shows that her name is beautifully embroidered where a tag would be. She wraps it back and puts it perfectly in her face.
Spitball in here, but that would be a way that we wouldn't have to actually produce a body. I was thinking that was, like, a way that we could do it with not actually having her body.
I certainly can't think of a better way. How does that sound to you, Chiffon? Do you want to drown to death?
By
But I
throwing yourself
do.
off a cliff.
I do
Maybe
think
it's-
that would be very romantic. I could write perhaps a note of heartbreak and longing for a man who spurned my advances, and she blinks her eyes up at Zada. Perhaps one adventurer who did not love me back. Ah, tragique!
Right. So what we could do is, like, do it kind of like in a public kind of setting. Maybe like someone throws, like when you jump down, we grab you and like pull you into the cliff, and then we'll throw the dummy of you into the water, so people will be like, "Oh no, there she goes." If you have like the same color dress, maybe you have the same dress. I don't know if you have a same color dress. If that's possible, we could just do that and grab you.
I do
Or,
have
like,
multiple of
hierarchy.
the same dress, just in case I spill anything. Look, I have 3 of this dress right here, and she pulls out 2 more identical dresses from her bag.
Right, and then like we could just like tie, just in case, like tie some rope to your foot, so when you jump down, in case we do not hit you, at least you'll like the rope will catch you and not kill you, and we can get you.
Are any of
This
you
is-
particularly good at tying rope? It just seems quite dangerous unless someone is proficient, perhaps.
We
in
have a
rope tying.
rope professional.
we
Her
have-
name is Serafina.
She's got all your rope needs covered.
Jeez. She'll make it feel like that rope's not even there until she wants you to feel it.
I have never been so excited to have someone tie me up before, but Serafina is a very deft-fingered lady.
Ah, Serafina has that effect on people, it seems.
Well, it sounds quite dangerous. I prefer not to die. Hence why I hired the professionals to help me with this plan. So if this is what you think would best pull off this disappearance, I say we go for it, yes?
That's the best plan I can think of, unless someone else can. And then that way there's like evidence, people watching, not us stating like, oh no, she died, but like people be like, oh no, she flung herself off a cliff. But we can just be there for like creating it so she doesn't actually die.
This would make sure no one else took the blame for my disappearance, and I do like that part of the plan. I don't want anybody to get in trouble for my foolishness. So yes, I think that would be good.
Well, whenever we do this, though, Chiffon will have to leave the city immediately so that no one would recognize her. So,
right.
Chiffon, were you planning on heading out on your own?
I was. I had planned on starting the next stage of my life by myself, as is. Everybody starts life by themselves, do they not? I would like to make a go of it on my own. See if I am up for the task.
Zada, is gonna get kind of awkward. I'm not saying this to be mean, but you have, as you said, lived in a cage, a gilded cage is that, and an animal that has been raised in captivity does not know how to fend for itself for a little while. Maybe you should stay with us for a short period of time to get your bearings before you go out on your own and get yourself killed right away. There are monsters, demons, undead, animals, all these things exist outside, and it would be a little bit better knowing that you are prepared for this type of life. If you can stay with us for a week or so, understand how camping works, understand how to survive on your own, or maybe just get you to the next town and then you can... But at least you'll have a fighting chance other than just being freshly let go out of a cage and into a predator's mouth.
Dr. Stormmain, this is the kindest offer I have received from a friend in a lifetime. And I will take you up on it because all of those monsters sound quite nasty, and I don't think I'm up for fighting them yet. I have these darts and not much else about my wits and my charm, and I don't think I can charm the pants off anybody outside of my own people. Where are you heading next, I suppose, is the correct question to ask. I should be smart about my choices.
We'll try to figure out where this demon thrall went, and if we can't, I guess back to Zenkin is where I would say, so we can get Fellshade back to where, at least her town, where she started. At least we can try to pick up the pieces of her life that was left.
Well, as it seems you are all in the business of caring for strays, I would consider myself honored to be a part of the journey. I shall hide my face as much as is possible in order to remain low profile.
I was thinking on that. Maybe if we dye you black, and then you are just a black cat instead, and then no one would see you as Chiffon at all.
You know, I think having the black fur would really make my eyes pop, so I think perhaps, yes, this is a good idea. That's very wise. I am very noticeable. I am very beautiful. The people, they see my face, they say, oh, it's Chiffon Foxglove. I hope she comes to speak to us. I hope her family's here. So, yes, I think if anybody knows how to dye fur, I would be wise to do so.
That's a Seraphina thing. That's definitely another up Seraphina's alley.
Yeah, she probably knows somebody in
She's
town.
not here. Seraphina is your leader, it would seem?
She's
much.
more like... she's...
No. No.
No.
No.
No.
Yeah.
We all have our certain set of skills.
Yeah, her skills are definitely around rope, beauty products, and people. Making
friends, very good.
Yeah.
These seem like important skills to me, but I don't know anything about adventuring, so I believe you, I suppose.
She's very helpful. Very useful.
Well, I hope to be useful to you as well. I have so many skills that, while I am with you, I shall use to my fullest to help you on your quest. Brave knights.
I like that.
Knights? Do we seem very knightly?
You do. You are the most honorable people I have ever known. Some of you wear the armor. Some of you have the armor around your heart. That is the most knightly thing I can think of. You are brave, you are selfless, and you are strong. Is that not a knight? I think it could be. I am not a queen, I cannot knight you, but I think you're knights in my heart.
Right as she's talking about how like noble and brave and everything that we are, and how we look like knights, Bula just immediately like accidentally snuffs like a fly or a bee up her nose and like makes a nasty snorting sound, just like sneezes all over the place and just like spits real hard.
Chiffon takes a big step away. Knights are not always graceful. The princesses are.
There you go.
Throw their fur back.
But
All right.
if Chiffon, if you're okay with, waiting to fake your death a little bit longer, I think we'd like to maybe investigate to see if the Thrall is still in the city, and then once that business is dealt with, we'll go about faking your death.
Well, yes, I see no need to rush if we have such a good plan. It will give me time to perhaps make quite a show of it, walk around the city, show my longing, my heartbreak, make sure everybody knows that Chiffon Foxglove is not doing so well, and perhaps she is about to make some grand gesture that we should all watch out for. It will test my acting skills that my mama always said I have none.
And
I shall show her.
It might not be a bad idea to prepare yourself for the journey with things like maybe some armor, some weaponry of some kind, travel gear, backpacks. It's like I just start listing all these things, like rations,
Diligent notes every word you're saying.
oil lamps, lanterns.
Wait, will the oil I use on my fur be the kind for the lamp, or do I need a different sort of oil?
Different oil. Definitely.
Very different.
Oil, okay.
Very different.
oil.
Lantern oil.
Scratches out lantern oil. Okay, I will find these things. This is good. I have money to blow now, I suppose. What do you need? What can I get for you all while I'm doing the shopping?
Food.
Food.
Actually, I was thinking for the pieces of you that we're going to throw off, if we could get some like spray meat that we could throw into it, just like a pig or something, so it looks like
not a
actual
pig.
blood in the water.
I will
You
get something much more elegant. Perhaps
You're
a
gonna
what do you
waste
want?
meat?
We have to make it look like she's actually a body other than just a pack of hay.
Why does it have to be meat though? You're just gonna throw that out.
Because we're made of it,
Eat
Bula.
They don't make carrots that large.
Ula had found a bag that holds more on the inside than the outside. I would love to have one of those. Seems
another
like a safe way to carry things.
and
Oh,
a second
yes.
bag of, you want a bag of holding? Okay, those can be hard to find, but I shall do my best. I know the best personal shoppers. If they can't find it, no one can. Bag of holding. Okay. Anything?
Anything that would work to make it harder for me to get hit, or I don't use armor, obviously, and or anything like that. Any type of items that could be helpful for our journey. I'm trying to think what would be useful. Just something that we could use on the normal everyday use, or like boots that could make me faster, jump farther.
Okay, thank you. It sounds like you are wanting some sort of magical item. I don't know much about that, but I will do my best to do some shopping. Yes.
Sounds
Something to make
good.
you faster, harder to hit. Okay, something for the battles. I see.
Ula's got her new bag open. She's kind of got her head in it, and she's kind of like, I wonder how big of a keg of meat I could put in this thing.
I will get you the biggest keg of meat I can find, and we will find out.
How big is the
It like
opening
a
to
giant-
that bag?
What's that?
That big.
How big is the opening to that bag?
Like that bag?
I thought it was like a clutch
It's like a-
purse.
It's like a clutch purse, so she's just putting her head just sucks into it.
No, it's like the size of like a laptop bag. It's like a side
Oh,
satchel. kind of
okay.
bag.
Okay.
It's not that small. It's big enough for her head. Not a whole lot bigger.
Well, if the keg of meat doesn't fit, I guess we're just going to have to drink it before we go.
And that would be
I
such
don't
a
see-
thing. We would have to have another party.
Nothing wrong with that.
And if it's not too much trouble, I was I was quite fond of the weapon that the guardsman whooped the shit out of me with. It was quite the it was quite the weapon that he was using. It was like a long bladed weapon that he was very good with thrusting with. Something of that nature. A rapier, I believe it's called.
Interesting. You are challenging my shopping skills. I has never shopped for the weapons before, but I need some for me. I need some for you. So yes, I will find you the sharpest, thrustiest blade in Suntapelli.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Anything for my friends for helping me to help you. Now then, I will go do the shopping. It seems you all have some searching to do for this archangel or this brothel owner. Then we shall part ways tonight. I will go stay at my family home. I'm going to play it low key as if nothing is amiss for the next day or two. So perhaps you'll find me at my villa when you are ready to make haste out of the city.
Yeah, you could do that.
It might even
Marley
be
can send a pet.
yes.
Probably. as a
probably
courier.
not the best idea for us to, be seen together if you are to die at some point.
This is true. In that case, you send a messenger, and I will send back the particular oceanside cliff where there will be an audience to witness my final demise. It shall be wonderful.
Right.
And make sure you give that note a couple of drafts. Trust me, you don't want to leave this town on an embarrassing note. No typos.
You are right. I will do some practice drafts. Perhaps I will send them your way to peruse.
Oh, I'd love to look at them. Yeah.
And
Nothing
maybe
better
good.
than a spicy letter.
Fantastic. Okay, fantastic. Okay, my friends, I shall see you in a few days' time. In the meantime, if you need me, you know where to find me. Don't be afraid to give me the message. Okay, toodaloo, bye-bye. She rushes off with her shopping list. And that is where we will call it tonight, as you have a plan in motion and someone to find in the city of Suntapelli.
Ooh.
Thank you
Oh,
all for
nice.
playing. Yeah. We missed you, Melanie, when you finally watched this.
Mhm.
We had a good impersonator though, so don't
Yeah.
worry
Oh,
about
so
that.
good.
I mean, I'm
thought
a
she
pretty
was
good.
here.
I'm a pretty good understudy. I do my best, and it's pretty good. Yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes when I'm acting out a scene, I think, what would JP do? How would he do it? And then that's what I do.
That's what I do.
You should really run the
My
acting
whole-
class.
My whole life is an imitation of Serafina.
There you go.
We can tell. We can so tell.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good acting.
Okay, thank you everybody for watching, all of our friends. Thanks for the raid, card trick. See you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.